Welcome back, everyone. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Scotty, and this is the 17th episode of the Bites of Italy podcast.
If you're new here, we take you on a flavorful journey through Italy, one bite at a time, discovering hidden gems, local traditions, and unforgettable tastes.
And if you've been with us for a while, you know we're all about digging deeper than the guidebooks. Today is no exception.
That's right. Today we are in Pisa. You've probably got that iconic leaning tower in your mind, right? But what if we told you there's a whole other Pisa waiting to be discovered?
Yeah, people often visit, they snap their photos and move on, and they completely miss the vibrant culinary scene.
We were genuinely surprised by the depth and character of the food here, and we just couldn't wait to share these findings with you.
Consider this your shortcut to having your entire Pisa food itinerary sorted. We're taking you on a virtual tour based on our first-hand discoveries of the best places to eat, promising authentic experiences and some truly surprising local specialties.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Picture this. You've just stepped off the train at Pisa Central Station. Your stomach is rumbling, you're ready for something uniquely local and utterly delicious. So let's go for some local street food.
That's right. Pisa also has its own street food, an absolute must-try, something called Cecina. And you won't have to wander far, just maybe a 7-minute walk from the train station. Right on the bustling main street of Corso Italia, you'll find Pizzeria Da Nando.
Now, for anyone listening who may not know, what exactly is Cecina, and what makes Da Nando so special?
Right. So, Cecina is essentially a thin, savory pancake, made from chickpea flour, water, salt, and olive oil, baked to this beautiful golden yellow. It sounds simple, but the magic truly happens in their wood-fired oven. They use these specific baking trays that give it this unique texture, one that is wonderfully soft and almost creamy on the inside, but with this incredible, irresistible crunch on the outside. It's only about half a centimeter thick, so it's deceptively light yet really satisfying.
You know, when I first bit into it, I thought, this feels ancient. And it is.
Really is. What's truly fascinating here is the history of this dish. People have been talking about cecina or pan di ceci, a chickpea bread, since the 13th century. Think about that. You're eating something that's been a staple for over 700 years.
Exactly.
It apparently has Ligurian origins, and it spread to Tuscany through ancient trade routes, both by land and sea. It's just a perfect example of how culinary traditions weave through regions over centuries, isn't it?
Definitely. Now it's found all along the Tuscan coast, from Livorno right up to Massa Carrara. The locals, with their characteristic pride and humor, have affectionately nicknamed it Pisa's Gold. I love that.
Cecina is great eaten by the slice as an appetizer or snack, or put it in focaccia bread, and then it's called cinque e cinque, meaning 5 and 5. In the past, you would buy bread for 5 lire, or Italian cents, and cecina for 5 lire and eat it like a sandwich. Simple street food.
And that's what we ate at Pizzeria Da Nando. But this isn't just any place that makes cecina. It's a true institution, making over 50 trays of cecina per day. They open at 11 a.m., but work begins at 7 in the morning. They prepare the dough and fire up the wood-burning oven. That's the kind of commitment you can genuinely taste in every single bite.
Yeah, their traditional cecina is cooked perfectly in that wood oven. It's golden brown, soft inside, crunchy outside, using top-quality ingredients.
In fact, it won Ceciniadi, the Cecina Olympics.
The Cecina Olympics? That's the Super Bowl of chickpea pancakes.
Uh-huh. And when you go, you have to try the Cecina sandwich with grilled eggplant, served in their freshly baked focaccia bread. Honestly, it was just an unexpected revelation. And it's only €5.
€5. That's incredible value. And when you bite into that cecina at Nando's, it's more than just a quick snack. You're actually tasting centuries of Pisa's culinary history. It just sets the perfect tone for your Pisan adventure, instantly connecting you to the city's heritage.
That's your essential first bite, a historical sprint. But now, let's leave the bustling station area. Let's wander deeper into the heart of old Pisa.
Okay, let's do it.
We're crossing the Arno River, diving into those medieval alleys, aiming for a truly immersive local experience. And that brings us to Trattoria Sant'Omobono. It's a beautiful, very small, intimate place on Piazza Sant'Omobono, an almost 500-year-old square full of commercial activities with stalls in the center and shops on the sides.
It's just maybe a 10-minute stroll from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Not far then.
Not far at all. It's a casual, buzzing environment nestled right in what locals call the noisiest and liveliest heart of the city.
Noisy and lively. I like the sound of that.
Yeah. Surrounded by those charming medieval alleys, the university area, the daily fruit market, this area is now host to craft shops, restaurants, and numerous nightlife venues. You really feel like you have stumbled upon a local secret.
Trattoria Sant'Omobono. What really sets it apart beyond the food, which we'll get to, is the setting itself. You're actually dining in an old church.
Exactly. In what was once the loggia of the Church of San Pietro in Padule. And you can still see parts of the original structure. Inside, there is a well-preserved column like in the large display case. It's pretty cool.
It definitely adds such a unique layer of history to your meal.
And speaking of food, for starters, we had the marinated anchovies alla povera, a delicious antipasto of Tuscan origin.
A fantastic, lighter alternative to the typical Tuscan appetizer you might expect. Really fresh tasting.
But when it comes to the first courses, this is not a place where you just eat. You're kind of deciphering Pisa's past.
Yeah, here we ate primi piatti that we had never heard of before. And we have been living in Tuscany for 4 years. So, tell us more.
Well, they serve bracchette alla Renaiola, an ancient dish from Pisa, originally eaten by people transporting sand. Rena is the root of the name, meaning sand. It's a curly pasta sauced with smoked herring and cime di rapa, or turnip greens.
That sounds unique, a real taste of history.
Absolutely it is. And you also have to try the soup bordatino alla pisana. It's a great example of what they call cucina povera, poor cuisine.
But poor doesn't mean bad.
No, not at all. It means resourceful. This dish perfectly shows how for centuries, Pisan cooks transformed humble ingredients like cabbage, beans, corn flour into something profoundly comforting and flavorful. It showcases a kind of resilience that's deeply woven into the city's culinary identity. It's not just a winter dish either. They adapt it seasonally.
That sounds incredibly comforting.
It really is. And for the second course, we recommend bacala with leeks, a delicious alternative to the classic cod with onions. This dish is part of Tuscan culinary culture, and I'm sure you'll love it if you enjoy the contrast in your food.
Yeah, leeks add a lot of sweetness, and they contrast beautifully with the saltiness of the cod.
The tender pan-fried rabbit with olives was also excellent. It's a typical Tuscan main course rooted in the region's peasant tradition. It's the kind of home cooking that simply feels like a warm hug.
And we love that they only serve wine from a flask.
Oh yeah, that was great.
You can get it by the glass for just €2, or in traditional carafes up to maybe €10 per liter. It's just so wonderfully old school.
And the service in the dining room is just quick, cheerful, witty, bustling around simple wooden tables.
Everything there really exudes an authentic, unpretentious character. You feel it instantly.
So let's sum up. Trattoria Sant'Omobono is a fantastic way to experience how ingenuity, local ingredients, and centuries of tradition have shaped Pisan home cooking. You're not just having a meal, you're immersing yourself in a living piece of Pisan heritage.
Well said. Okay, for a different kind of experience entirely, one where fire and flavor truly shine, let's talk about a place that masters the art of grilling, Ristoro Redipuglia. This one's a slight detour from the city center. Maybe a 6-minute drive from Pisa International Airport, but it's definitely worth it.
Good to know, especially if you're flying in.
Set in this charming old farmhouse that was once an agricultural cooperative. When you step inside, you're greeted by classic Tuscan farmhouse features from the early 1900s. Beautiful exposed beams, rafters, terracotta floors. The ambiance is rustic, incredibly welcoming, and surprisingly spacious. And it's super convenient to get to with a very large parking lot. Great for families, too, thanks to its well-kept garden.
Sounds lovely.
The atmosphere inside is casual. Can be a bit noisy, but it just adds to the authentic buzz of a popular local spot, you know.
Yeah, I get that. But the real star here, you said, is the grill.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as you step into the main dining hall, you see this huge grill right in the center. In winter, that's where they cook all the meat and vegetables right there in front of you.
Dinner and a show.
Kind of. Then, in the summer months, they shift to the veranda, which has its own second grill and seats around 80 people, offers a lovely refreshment and a view of the garden.
Sounds perfect for a summer evening.
It really is. Their whole cuisine philosophy is about genuine home cooking. The menu is rooted in seasonal, local, and 0 kilometers ingredients.
0 kilometers meaning sourced very close by.
Exactly, farm-to-table style. Minimizing travel, maximizing freshness. and you can taste that commitment.
Now, this raises an important question. What's the deal with the coperto? You know, the cover charge you often see in Italy?
Good question. Often it's just for bread and the table setting. But here at Redipuglia, for just €4, you get not only bread but also a welcome appetizer from the house. Typically delicious bruschetta and some local ricotta. It's a fantastic value and just a perfect unexpected little bonus to kick off your meal.
That is a nice perk.
Totally. Though if you're feeling adventurous or just want something different, the goat antipasto with various cheeses and charcuterie is also a truly great option.
Good to have choices. But let's talk about the grill.
What's fascinating here is the sheer variety and the quality of their grilled meats and vegetables. They truly select the best cuts and cook them right before your eyes. You can have beef, pork, rabbit, lamb, chicken, duck, even pigeon. We had the steak, which was simply excellent. Perfectly charred, incredibly tender.
And if you're looking for a non-meat second course, they even offer grilled cheese, like a proper grilled cheese main. But beyond the grill, what about their first courses?
Equally impressive. They offer comforting seasonal soups, perfectly prepared ravioli, and a large selection of pastas that are all homemade. I personally found the pappardelle with rabbit to be especially good. It was rich, flavorful, and incredibly satisfying.
Homemade pasta is always a win. What about drinks and wine list?
Oh yeah, you simply cannot leave without experiencing Eduardo, the Cuban's special mojito.
A Cuban mojito in Tuscany?
Yep. He prepares both alcoholic and non-alcoholic options, and apparently it's become a real ritual for some customers.
A true Pisan delight with a Cuban twist. It's the perfect way to start an evening of fun.
Sounds like it. And their wine list is extensive. It reflects the distinctive terroir of various regions from the sunny hills of Tuscany, of course, to the rolling vineyards of Piedmont. They have clearly put thought into pairing wines with their grilled dishes.
And we saw an extensive list of desserts. But to be honest, after all that incredible hearty food, we were quite literally too full to try them.
A good problem to have, right? A testament to their generous portions.
Definitely a good problem to have.
Okay, there you have it, our culinary journey through Pisa. We started with the historical street food, that amazing Cecina at Pizzeria Da Nando, Pisa's gold.
Then wandered into the charmingly authentic traditional Pisan dishes at Trattoria Sant'Omobono. Dining in an old church? Unforgettable.
And finally experienced the grilling excellence, that rustic farmhouse vibe at Ristoro Redipuglia. These aren't just restaurants, are they? They're genuine experiences that offer a true taste of Pisa, moving way beyond the obvious tourist spots near the tower.
Exactly. They truly represent the heart and soul of Pisan cuisine. Genuine, historical, and absolutely delicious.
Couldn't agree more. If you enjoyed today's journey through Pisa, why not leave us a review or drop us a message? Your feedback helps others discover the show, and it means the world to us.
And of course, be sure to subscribe to the Bites of Italy podcast so you're always the first to hear about our latest food discoveries.
Next up, we're heading south to one of the most flavorful corners of the country, Naples.
Home of pizza, rich street food traditions, and bold flavors that capture the true spirit of Southern Italy. It's going to be a mouth-watering ride.
Until then, eat well, travel far, and keep chasing those unforgettable bites. See you next time. Ciao!